Oh, Steve and Larson! Don't you dare be sour. Clap for yourselves and feel the power. Yes. And all you people out there, you're watching Going In Raw with Steve and Larson.
Hey, friendo, Steve here.
And Lars.
And welcome back to Going In Raw, the only pro wrestling podcast you need to be listening to right here at youtube.com/Steve and Larson. Available wherever podcasts can be found. And, of course, taped live at the Twitch at twitch.tv/Steve and Larson. First off, want to say thanks to all the friendos for hanging out with us during our YouTube live reaction stream. I was looking, just for the sake of curiosity, it looked like we had around the third most watched YouTube stream at the moment, or during the pay-per-view, Money in the Bank, behind our good friendos over at Wrestle Talk. And really, we were part of that too, because Queen of the Ring Alex was over there repping Friendo Club, Church of Friendos. And of course, behind Cultaholic as well, our good friendos over at Cultaholic. Yep. So shout out to everybody hanging out with us. Shout out to the Enforcer for hanging out with us as well. It's always a fun. And of course, Larson, at the end of Money in the Bank, we were tied. And due to Big E winning Money in the Bank, you won predictions Money in the Bank. And in dramatic fashion at the end of the main event, you pulled out. It was close. It was close. You pulled out.
All I needed was a number one. Say it like
one.
There you go. Like
and that's what you got pulled out. So you are now the unified Going In Raw champion. Big Red is going to your house. I'm not gonna say it's coming home because that's here.
No, it's coming home.
Well, this is
I had that belt
home.
for like 8 months. So
I know, but like it really wasn't that long. And then like I had it like a big chunk, and then
now it's coming back.
I've had it since it's been like a long time.
Since March, I think you've had it since March.
A long time.
But I had it twice as long as you've had it.
I went like an 8-month run last year. What are you talking about?
Yeah, then after that, I had it for a huge stretch.
Yeah, but before I had it for a long stretch. Anyways, congratulations. Congratulations. You've got till SummerSlam till come back home to where it actually belongs. So it was a lot of fun. Good stuff. And of course, like I just said, Big E won Money in the Bank. That was awesome. No cash-ins tonight. That was kind of interesting.
No, that's kind of surprising.
Kind of figured that, although I do not think that match needed it, and I wonder if they just want to space out their big moments.
Well, I think also, too, where Raw, especially, but also SmackDown, now that they're on the road, I'm sure, they want to generate excitement to sell tickets for these shows, and also to get ratings up. If the idea that someone's going to cash in on any particular episode of Raw or SmackDown is out there, it might inspire people to tune in.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm guessing that's probably it more than anything, as they see the briefcases as a means to potentially up ratings.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm kind of surprised. I mean, like Nikki cashing in the Raw Women's title match made all the sense in the world, making it a triple threat towards the end, or even right out the gate, given the story, beating both Rhea and Charlotte in essentially beat the clock challenge type matches. It would have made sense. Apparently they're holding off on it, which if they're doing it to bump ratings, to pop ratings, so be it.
I shouldn't be surprised about this because it is Charlotte. So I'm not really surprised, but it did seem like they were trying their damnedest to sort of have their cake and eat it too and protect both Charlotte and Rhea Ripley, which is why we saw that ridiculous DQ ending last month. And then this month, this pay-per-view rather, I figured just the go-home math meant that Rhea was going to win. I figured it would be some sort of wonky finish, but instead she tapped out. And granted, Charlotte did in what the rules surely should have been, if last month's finish was a DQ finish, this should have been with Charlotte using the steel steps to really damage Rhea Ripley's leg before putting her in the figure 8. And then making Rhea Ripley tap out, but they did. Rhea tapped out to Charlotte. Charlotte is now Raw Women's Champion, and yeah, you got to figure Man, I mean, the crowd really seemed to be into Nikki Cross winning that Money in the Bank, and yeah, I wonder what route they're going to take with her and Charlotte. He better not even be thinking about a failed cash in, because that would be tragic and a big waste.
That'd be a massive waste. I mean, I wasn't necessarily surprised that Nikki won the Money in the Bank briefcase. Like leading up the whole time, I thought I wasn't like 100% sure that Alexa was going to win, but that was my pick, and I was pretty confident in it. But then I got up this morning, I really thought about it, and it was like, no, this really fits the story, especially for a cash in tonight of Nikki getting herself in the title match. But yeah, I'm guessing they just didn't do it because of ratings. But
yeah,
we'll see how it pans out.
Yeah. So let's just go ahead and hop into it, because it was a really fun show.
Yeah,
it was.
There wasn't a dud match the whole card.
There really wasn't. It was a lot of fun. Yeah, every match. It was interesting because, and I apologize for not sourcing this person. One of our friendos in chat mentioned about the Roman Edge match, and you also saw this in the Charlotte Rhea match. Is that the Roman Edge match? If it was at Thunderdome, it would have really fallen flat. It was a grinding match, and it was a long match, and it was a match that really took the crowd. Roman and Edge both understood how to work the crowd, and that crowd really got into it. The same with Charlotte and Rhea. Charlotte and Rhea was crazy because the crowd started chanting, "We want Becky." Charlotte flipped off the crowd. Unfortunately, that was they blacked that out on Peacock.
They didn't do that great of a job of it because towards the tail end you could still see it.
Yeah, but by the end of that match, that crowd was firmly into it. They did such a fantastic job working that crowd, and yeah, it did. It underscored just how vital the crowd element is in wrestling. Like they feed off the wrestlers feed off them, and they can add so much. They can also take away from matches. If you know, I mean, we saw that in person. It was the most disappointing thing, and I forget what Raw it was at, but when they were doing like a cruiserweight match, and you know the crowd started crapping all over, and these guys are busting their asses in there. But for right now, anyways, I'm not going to say that. I don't know how long, if you could really consider this a honeymoon period, but yeah, for now, anyways, the WWE, if they give the crowd good stuff that they're into, they'll follow.
They'll respond. Yeah.
They'll be into it. Yep. So anyways, it kicked off in the kickoff show. The Mysterios. This was crazy. So it was a kickoff show. Mysterios versus the Usos. The SmackDown tag titles were on the line, and they even did this really crazy cinematic. The Mysterios entering some mysterious portal to get.
It reminded me of something they might have done in Lucha Underground.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. And then they just came out and they lost their tag titles to the Usos in a kickoff show after filming a green screen.
The portal and stuff. I'm surprised that the Lucha Underground version of Aerostar didn't lead the way, because you know he's like a time traveler.
Yeah, right.
You know, it seemed very. Or, yeah, as Zondo in chat here says, Rawgate.
Well, it was totally, I mean, I was screaming from the top of my lungs. Like, they just stole our shit.
Technology.
I'm fine with them. You know, we had said, we had been very open in our We Book Raw series that they are welcome to take our ideas. So, yeah, happy to see that they're watching old episodes of We Book Raw. You can watch that on our channel as well. So, yeah, and the funny thing is, like, too, it was a fun match. Usos got the win with like this ridiculous cheating roll-up thing.
The ref should have saw.
That the ref was staring at this roll-up that I think it was Jimmy who rolled up Ray. And then Jay was like basically sort of just propping up, like giving his brother all the leverage.
He was pushing against Jimmy with his feet. So if Ray were to kick out, they'd be like added leverage there. Exactly.
And it was just right in front of the ref, but like,
it's pretty surprising. They had such a major story beat happen in the kickoff show.
Yeah. I mean, part of me was thinking. I mean, I went with the Mysterios here, but because all of that math. But also, I was thinking to myself, like, man, I wonder if they have sort of figured, if Heyman has figured on a certain story beat that just needs to happen now. That has to do with the Raw tag or the SmackDown tag title. So it's like, okay, let's just do this. But still, fun win. Fun match, rather.
It was a really fun match.
Yeah.
It was a really fun match.
All right, let's take a quick break here to get a word in from our sponsor, forhims.com. Hey, Larson.
Yeah.
Is that hairline of yours slowly making its retreat, buddy? Just joking. 66% of guys start losing their hair, though, by the age of 35. But I'm here to tell you that the best time to prevent even more hair loss is to do something right now while you still have some follicles on that dome of yours.
Why do guys turn to odd solutions or do nothing at all when they can turn to medicine and science? Hims is helping guys be the best version of themselves with licensed medical providers and FDA-approved products to help treat hair loss.
Hims connects you with licensed medical professionals online. All you got to do is answer a few questions, and if it's determined it's right for you, you'll be prescribed hair loss treatments that are shipped directly to your door. It's discreet, completely confidential. It means you can say goodbye to all those awkward in-person doctor's visits and long pharmacy lines.
Today, Hims is giving you their best offer yet. If you're not happy with the results after 90 days, Hims will give you a full refund. And right now, Going in Raw listeners can get their first visit absolutely free. Go to forhims.com/GIR. That's forhims.com/GIR.
Prescription products require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if a prescription is appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for full details and important safety information.
Remember, that's forhims.com/GIR. Before we get back to the show, let's get a word from our sponsor, Amazon Music. Since all the friendos out there are listening to this show, it's safe to assume you love listening to podcasts, yeah? Well, you'll find tons of podcasts, including this one, Going in Raw, on Amazon Music.
You got that right. Amazon Music has more than 10 million free podcasts to listen to. But that's not all. They also have thousands of music stations and great playlists to stream for free.
Yeah, man, if you're like Larson and love your music on demand and ad-free, you got to give Amazon Music Unlimited a try. It gives you unlimited access to a lot of songs, like 75 million, as well as podcasts, music videos. Remember those, Steve? Music videos?
Oh, yeah.
And so much more.
Yeah, and with Amazon Music Unlimited, you can listen to any song anywhere, whether it be in the car, walking your dog, doing wind sprints, anywhere, offline and with unlimited skips.
Or you can listen to podcasts like Going in Raw while pumping iron like I do. Yeah, I listen to our own show while I lift weights. If you've never tried Amazon Music Unlimited, now is a great time. For a limited time, new customers can try Amazon Music Unlimited free for 30 days. No credit card required. Just go to amazon.com/GIR.
That's amazon.com/GIR to try Amazon Music Unlimited free for 30 days. Amazon.com/GIR. Renews automatically. Cancel anytime. Terms apply.
Main card kicked off with the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Alexa Bliss had a noteworthy entrance because she had a giant lily render
Oh, it was great.
hovering above the stage and ramp, and she even kind of, acknowledged it, though she couldn't see it.
You mentioned this on the SmackDown recap for the new stage, which is just a giant Tron.
Yeah.
They have upgraded the graphics for the Trons, for all the individual Trons, quite a bit. Like Asuka's looked great tonight.
Yeah.
They have upgraded those Trons, so they're not quite as boring and static as they used to be. I still wish they'd go back to highlight packages, but you can't get everything, I guess. Alexa's looked great. That giant lily render I thought was awesome. And then sort of everybody in this match are going to get ladders and stuff and having their entrances. She's just standing stoically, like on the second rope, just sort of standing there waiting for everything to happen. Everybody clears the ring, and then she goes without a ladder, just stands under the briefcase and tries to do the force power stuff.
Powers, yeah.
Yeah, and just try to grab it. And then she's met by who was she met by? Nikki or somebody.
Asuka.
Okay.
Asuka hits her with a German suplex. Yeah. And then everybody hits the ring and everybody's doing moves back and forth.
Everybody, as they like to say, everybody gets their shit in.
Yeah, everybody got their stuff in.
Liv Morgan had a really terrific Money in the Bank. She was given a lot of opportunities to shine. The crowd was really behind her. She got a big pop coming out. Naomi got a big pop coming out.
Asuka did as well, yeah.
Asuka did as well. Natalya and Tamina were sort of playing spoiler throughout this match, which in retrospect, the fact that they put them in there made sense given the story. You know, it's like you got a bunch of wrestlers who people are going to pop for. You need people to sort of, you know, play spoiler here, I guess. There was a bit where Alexa and Zelina Vega both go up the ladder, and while they're both at the top, Alexa hypnotizes Zelina and has her mirror her actions. So Alexa walks her back down the ladder and then snaps out of it and then goes back up to try to get the briefcase. That doesn't happen. Eventually, everybody literally buries Alexa under a pile of ladders. She hits his sister Abigail on Nikki prior to that. And unless there are any other big spots, we could just talk about the finish. There was
that spot where everybody pretty much is in the ring brawling, and then Nikki set up a ladder ringside, and it hits a huge cross body off that. And you think, you know, you follow Money in the Bank ladder match history. If you get a huge spot like that, it usually means you're not winning the match. Usually.
Yeah.
You know, between that and then her getting the win on Raw, you think, all right, in terms of history, that would seem to signify that she's not winning. But no, so the finish saw, I think there's 3 ladders in the ring.
Yeah.
And everybody save for Nikki and Alexa are on ladders brawling. Alexa's still buried under, I don't know, half a dozen ladders at least. And while everybody's too busy brawling with each other, Nikki just climbs the ladder, grabs a briefcase before anybody really notices.
Yep.
So she took advantage of the situation, climbed up, got it, and won.
Yeah, it was a pretty fun spot. The crowd popped for that too. She had legit looked like she was crying up on the stage.
Crying, yeah.
Yeah, it was a really, really terrific moment. I was really hoping for this win, not just because the Enforcer pulled her name out of a hat for his predictions, which was totally a thing, but I was legitimately hoping for Nikki because I did think that she was going into it with the biggest, with the best story to tell, given what they have set up. And it's like, hey, it's WWE. They set up a story. You just want them to pay it off.
Exactly.
And it looks like they might be doing that here. And so this was great. I really do believe that the crowds are going to be behind Nikki. I mean, how can you not be? I know that people might think that the superhero thing is a bit goofy. I really like it because she seems genuinely invested in it. She seemed to be the one who pitched it in the first place backstage, which I always like. You know, it's like I like when wrestlers, I mean, seemingly one thing WWE does do, if you're able to get to them, is they'll let people pitch and pitch and pitch and pitch. And if they like something, they'll try it. And so I really appreciate that this is something that Nikki has really gone into. I don't think any other wrestler on the roster this gimmick would make sense for. But she's terrific, and she's a great wrestler. Yeah. And hopefully they're able to build the moment for her cash in and win properly, and it'll be as big a moment as it should be. Maybe at SummerSlam. I don't know. Maybe she'll do the thing. Well, she'll cash in, say, hey, tomorrow night, she'll come out and say, hey, I'm cashing in at SummerSlam.
And they actually do a good job of building to it.
Yeah.
You know, instead of just like Braun, where it just kind of happened. So after that, we have Roman and the Usos backstage. Usos are happy because they won. Roman's like pretty much, hey, those belts are mine. Jimmy says, here, take mine. And Roman says, no, you can hold on to it for me. Tells the Usos they survived the pressure, but don't get confused. Winning the belts was the easy part. Roman says, I did all the heavy lifting. Says he's the one that brought Jay back. And he turns to Jimmy and says, and you.
Reference to the arrest. Yeah.
Yeah. And then it says, but here we are now covered in gold. The family is always watching. Now that he's given them what they want, it's time to give him what he wants. And Jay's like, yeah, you're my tribal chief. He sings his praises. He elbows Jimmy. And Jimmy's like, yeah, tribal chief, all that, yeah. And then Roman says, all right, I'm proud of you. Brings it in for a hug.
Yeah, it was good stuff. After that, we had AJ Styles and Omos versus the Viking Raiders. This was a long match. It was wildly entertaining. It was really fun. I love when Omos gets to do his stuff because he's a lot of fun to watch. And it's rare these days that they actually give the Viking Raiders like more than 10 minutes in a match to really show how good they are. And this was that match. Like, we got to see it. It was really, really terrific. Let's see. There's this really great moment where Omos, so Eric's on the outside, and Omos picks up AJ, and he throws him at Eric, and AJ hits a Rana from that.
Yeah,
it was
to the floor, yeah.
Rad. It was really
Yeah,
cool,
it was
and I
pretty
hope
cool.
that like we get more creative stuff with that with AJ and Omos. There was a couple other impressive moments with Omos body slamming Ivar, press slamming him off like the top. Tries to step on him for that pin. He only got 2. And then so the Raiders take out Omos on the outside. AJ misses a phenomenal forearm. The Viking Raiders hit their finish. But then for some reason, as Ivar is going for the pin on AJ, Eric, trying to prevent Omos from coming in, approaches Omos, and Omos just from the apron shoves Eric so hard he goes flying into the pin, which is kind of on the other side of the ring, and that gets broken up. In the end, Omos ends up hitting his finish on Eric.
Yeah, the choke bomb.
To retain those titles. But a really fun match there with the Viking Raiders and AJ and Omos.
Yeah, and it follows with the story they've been telling with AJ and Omos, where Omos dominates, AJ gets in there, more often than not, gives up the advantage.
It's funny because in this one, he let Omos start.
Yeah,
he was like, hey, we're fast forwarding to the end here, but it was their longest match and probably their best match. Their WrestleMania match was so well done because it was Omos' sort of long. Like debut, but it wasn't long. It was just Omos dominating, but this was a lot more. And AJ's the perfect guy to get the most that he can out of Omos, who probably has some limitations in terms because of his size. You know, he's not going to be doing it.
Well, I think it is inexperience too.
And his inexperience as well. Like, obviously, he hasn't taken a bump. I'd be kind of shocked. I don't know. Maybe he does the Performance Center, but like,
I'm sure he has the Performance Center.
Big dude to see
in the ring.
See him crashing down like that. Oof.
Yeah. After that, we had a Drew McIntyre interview. He's asked, what will it take to win Money in the Bank? And Drew just says, something seems different tonight, but I can't put my finger on it. And goes, oh, yeah, Fort Worth. Can I hear some damn noise? Talks about how he has to win the match tonight. Last time he was in Texas, he won the Rumble. He went on to WrestleMania to beat Brock. He carried the WWE title through Thunderdome. And he says, I think I speak for everyone when I say no one wants to see Thunderdome ever again. And he tells a story about him rolling into the Money in the Bank ladder match, winning that contract, getting his title back.
He'll get those. Keep on running down Thunderdome. You'll definitely get some.
You'll get
good,
over it.
Good face reactions there. Oh man,
this next match was putting it mildly to say a dominant effort from Bobby Lashley. Kofi Kingston versus Bob Lashley. Kofi tried for that fast start, hit a double stomp off the top. Pretty much after that, it was all Bob Lashley.
Let me ask you this, man.
Yeah.
If you're Kofi Kingston and backstage they pitch 2 things. If it's Brock Lesnar, right, for the Brock match, either you lose in 8 seconds or you get destroyed. Now, keep in mind, Brock has been taken to the limit by Bryan, Mysterio, Finn, Styles, a bunch of guys similarly sized to Kofi. So you show up and they're like, hey, it's your choice. F5 in 8 seconds, or you get dominated like we saw Lashley. What do you go with?
I would take the match tonight, because for a couple of reasons. One, you get a little offense in.
Yeah, true.
2, Bob Lashley put him in a hurt lock early, and Kofi didn't tap. In fact, Lashley had to release it, like did a crazy fall-away slam out of it. So it wasn't like Lashley put his finish on right away and Kofi tapped immediately, You feel,
I guess you also feel like in character, you feel like a little bit less of a jerk. It's like, man, I can't believe I just lost my title because I got caught, as opposed to
I just got beat.
I just got my ass kicked, handed to me. You know, what can I do? I can't really do anything else. I just got in there, I got my ass. There was nothing Kofi could do. Nothing.
Yeah, after the opening 30 seconds, there's basically nothing he could do. So Lashley fends off Kofi's initial offense, dominates, hits a massive spine buster, dumps Kofi to the floor, rams in the ring post a couple times, goes back on the ring, hits a massive flatliner, sinks into hurt lock, but Kofi doesn't tap. So Lashley kind of hits like almost like a fall away slam type deal. Lashley hits another huge flatliner, hits some ground and pound, hits 3 dominators, and then sinks in the hurt lock again, and Kofi has to tap.
How awesome is it, though, for Kofi Kingston to do this? True professional. On Raw, Xavier Woods gets this fluke victory because Lashley is kind of sleeping. He's soft, and he goes on this rampage with MVP, that great promo at the end of Raw. And then this is the result of that. It wouldn't have made really much sense, all that happened, if Kofi comes out and he takes Bobby Lashley to the limit. That's not the point. The point is now Lashley is like, dude, you're making me soft with all these women in Champagne. And I'm a dominator. And he comes out and he dominates.
Yeah.
That's the next level. That's the next level that we want from Bob Lashley.
And here's the thing, too, that if the rumors were true, or they're thinking of moving Big E over to Raw.
Oh, it's the story.
Whether it be in the draft.
It's the story.
There's a story there. There's a story there.
Yeah.
You know?
God dang, dude. Wow.
There's something there. So
yeah. And on top of that, I know you don't like it, but Big E, he's going to have that Goldberg rub. I know it's secondhand, but when Lashley beats Goldberg, he's going to beat the guy who beat Goldberg. And there's more. There's extra rep to that. There's extra reputation to that. How do you think Big E should cash in? Let's say he goes to Raw. How does he cash in? It's got to be a pure face cash in, right?
Here's an idea. So let's say Lashley carries a belt to Survivor Series. Who will he face at Survivor Series?
Roman.
Yeah. They have their match. Roman gets the win. If you want to if you want to have him come in and cash in, that's like the best time to do it.
Yeah, but do you think he should do it? You think?
Ideally,
do that?
he should declare in advance, say, "I'm gonna cash in tonight," and have the full match and win that way. That should be the way it's done, obviously, because that's the babyface way.
It'd be great. I think number one, I really don't think they should do Lashley the way they did Drew. And I know with Drew is a cheaty win, but if there's any match at Survivor Series that should be a wonk finish without a clear winner, it should be Bobby versus Roman. I get that Roman's a tribal chief and they're doing all this stuff with him, but man, Bob Lashley's your guy on Raw, and if he's going to get the Goldberg rub, you don't job him out. Nobody pins him, you know? Nah.
You know what they should do then for Survivor Series is, at least just for that storyline, have MVP recruit a couple more members of the Hurt Business.
Oh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
So then the Usos just can't interfere and cost Lashley the match.
But this is what I like. This is what you do. Big E comes out at the end of every brutal match that Lashley has as if he's going to cash in. Now, the match is over, but Lashley's hurt. Big E comes out, and he just teases him with it. It's kind of like what Brock was doing, you know?
Yeah.
It's just, hey, I'm here. But then eventually he's tired of playing games, and he just declares for whatever, you know. Maybe Lashley has a good run until Mania. You get Big E that big Mania moment, you know.
That'd
some
be great.
Kofi Mania type, you know, circular stuff there.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, Drew got the, who is this? Says Ultra Star. So didn't Drew get that rub too? He got the Goldberg rub. Rub.
Yeah, he beat Goldberg, yeah.
I hope Drew gets that title back in front of fans at some point. At some point.
I'm sure he will. Then we had Rhea Ripley versus Charlotte Flair for the Raw Women's Championship. We mentioned earlier, I believe, that the crowd was chanting, "We want Becky" early on this match, but by the end, they were into it because this match was really damn good. This was a masterclass in turning a crowd around and interacting with the crowd, and it just shows how good Charlotte is. I know a lot of people give her shit. You know, why was she supposed to turn down opportunities? She's just a hell of a wrestler, and this is a really fantastic match. It really was. I mean, there was that top rope natural selection. That was insane. That wasn't even the finish.
That wasn't even the finish. Rhea looked great here, but in the end, it's like, yeah, there's a pecking order, and Charlotte's at the top.
Well, I did like early on, so it wasn't like Rhea got dominated. So early
no,
on,
it wasn't. It was
And throughout the match, in fact, Charlotte was trying to target Rhea's leg, and initially Rhea had an answer. Like at one point, Charlotte goes for a chop block on the apron. Rhea jumps over it, so Charlotte gets posted, and then Rhea drop kicks her to the floor. But then she ends up whiffing on a cannonball off the apron. Later on, Charlotte's trying to go after Rhea's leg again. Rhea catches her, dumps her to the floor. Then after that, then she hits the cannonball off the ring steps.
Yeah. So
I like they were even referencing spots prior in the match.
Yeah.
And And then it was hard hitting. There's this bit where Rhea was just hitting Charlotte with a ton of chops. And then Charlotte flings Rhea out of the ring, boots her off the apron, follows a moonsault to the floor, goes for a natural selection, whiffs on that. Rhea puts her in the reverse cloverleaf. Charlotte reverses that into a roll-up. Rhea kicks out, hits a head kick, goes for a riptide, and Charlotte reverses that into a DDT. It's a great sell by Rhea. So then Rhea hits a back elbow. Charlotte responds with the Andrade back elbow. Covers, feet her on the ropes. Ref sees it, and like very casually is like, "Nah, that's can't do that." So Rhea hits a kick, bunch of shoulder tackles in the corner, puts Charlotte on top, looking for a superplex. Charlotte fights her off, and that's when she hit the supernatural selection, but they only got a 2 count. So Charlotte's looking for the figure 4. Rhea flings her into the corner. Charlotte tumbles to the floor, and Rhea reaches out to pull her back towards the ring, and Charlotte instead slams Rhea's head to the ring post.
Rookie mistake, dude. Don't go. Don't get,
Dirtiest player in the game.
Yeah.
Sticks Rhea's foot between the ring steps and the apron, and then starts kicking it. Puts on the figure 8. Rhea sells it, holds out best she can, but eventually has to tap out.
This is going to be one of those great things where Rhea obviously made a big mistake here by getting too antsy, too ambitious, aggressive. Yes. Want to see if she fixes that in matches going forward. If she has an opportunity to do it, but backs off. You know, I love that kind of stuff. They did that stuff with Bianca at Backlash or Mania, at Mania with Sasha, where a match with Shayna where she didn't win the NXT title, made a mistake, and in that match at Mania, she corrected it. Good stuff. I love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, those details is what really makes these stories really interesting. At this point, the Peacock app started to glitch out quite a bit. So apparently there was a Nakamura, Rick Boogs, Matt Riddle backstage thing that, best I could piece together, led to Riddle and Boogs singing Orton's theme.
Yeah, to quote Office Space, I wouldn't say we missed it, Bob. Yeah, I just don't. I looked at those like, well, thank God this happened during this, because I really don't care. And it happened during the entrances for the dudes at their Money in the Bank match, because we're not really missing anything. I had no idea that this was something we would be introduced to today, and it bums me out that we're probably never going to get it again. But the match started off with Rollins and Morrison arguing over who is the true drip master. And Rollins like, what is that supposed to be in your hair? He's like, it's drip, man. And but then we got the unexpected team up of what we dubbed the Drip Twins with Rollins and Morrison. Yeah. This was great. This was one of those things where you know they're just having fun, and there was lots of to sort of add some validation to Matt Riddle going on the record saying that he apologized to Seth and he made amends. They had a lot of interaction tonight.
They did.
Seth, I think, ate like an RKO. And I know like a knee strike, a couple other things.
A floating bro. Springboard floating
right.
Yeah. This match was tons of fun.
This was wildly
fun. Brutal spots. Of course, Kevin Owens out there putting his body on the line several times.
I like this pretty early on. They teased a potential matchup on the Raw side of things if Big E does go there with Drew McIntyre and Big E.
Yeah.
Dude, I tell you, man, if Goldberg has 2 matches a year, one of them's going to be with Lashley.
Lashley will be a second match for the year.
Does he have 2 more next year? Is he signed for another year?
So give us Big E and Goldberg at Mania.
You have to.
And have Big E get that win.
That's good. That's good stuff.
Let's fast forward a bit. Drew goes on extended run. He hits a double Claymore on where is it here on Nakamura and Riddle.
Yeah,
hits Big E with a future shock. Hits Ricochet with a reverse Alabama slam into the ladder. He's clearing house. Hits Seth with a Claymore. He starts climbing. Veer and Shanky run out. They start beating him up. Toss him for the ring. Jinder comes out with the chair. Hits him in the gut. Starts hitting him over and over with chair shots. And then Veer and Shanky carry Drew backstage. We don't see him again.
Speculate, Larson. Where they take him?
They probably took him backstage and said, "Hey, you tore this motorcycle apart. You need to put it back together."
Yeah.
So after that, Riddle's climbing the ladder. Ricochet springboards and then proceeds to walk like halfway down the rope.
Yeah.
jumps on the ladder, knocks Riddle off. Riddle pushes the ladder over, and Ricochet lands on the top rope, and off that does like a somersault senton on pretty much everybody else.
And then hops right back in the ring because he's the guy doling it out. And Riddle, they did the great thing that you and I saw at PW. Just first, I think it was like the first live Riddle match we saw when like his tag team partner,
Jeff Cobb doing the stalling suplex on.
He was getting the stalling suplex.
Yes, that's right.
And Riddle was it was Cage and Elegant or something like that.
Yeah.
And Riddle was freaking out, but
they're passing it back and forth.
Yeah, he was marveling at his own tag team partner being passed around in the stalling suplex position. And so we got the same thing where this guy he's supposed to be fighting, he's like marking out for what he just saw because it was a pretty great moment.
Yeah, and after that, Riddle starts doling out RKOs. He hits one on Big E. He pulls Ricochet off the ladder right into an RKO. He's celebrating. He's doing the Randy Orton pounding the fist on the ground. Seth hits him with a stomp. Nakamura comes in, hits Seth with a go to sleep.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
He starts to climb. Morrison squirts him with the drip stick. Owens is in. He hits Morrison with the stunner. He starts to climb. Nakamura pulls him off. He ends up eating a stunner too. Owens tries to hit Ricochet with a stunner. Ricochet evades that. He gets a pop-up power bomb. Owens climbs again. He's reaching for the briefcase. Seth pulls him off, and he power bombed him through a ladder that was set up between the apron and the announce table. And so it's just Seth. He's climbing. Big E enters the ring, so there's two ladders next to each other. Big E grabs Seth, hits a big ending off the ladder, climbs up, gets the briefcase, gets the win. Yeah.
It was pretty crazy, man. It was pretty crazy. Backstage, Seth is in a rage. Kevin comes up to him from an interview. Not Kevin Owens, Kevin the interviewer guy.
Kevin Patrick, I think.
Yeah, something like that. And Seth's like, this is supposed to be my destiny. I need a new plan. Change. Whoever wins the Universal title match, I'm next in line. Very upset.
Yeah, very angry.
After that, we had our main event, Roman Reigns versus Edge. They did a really good job even building a Roman's entrance because like Edge comes out and they have a great close-up on him.
Mm-hmm.
And it just lingers there until the music kicks in and Edge sort of looks down because he's like, yeah, here we go. There's just a lot of grinding in this match, but it was really well told. It was a really well told story. Maybe a little long, but yeah, it did a really good job building. I mean, Edge eventually put Roman in the deal, Larson. He put him in the deal.
He did put him in the deal.
So let's see here. Okay.
So let's start from here. I guess we can start where Edge
go towards the ref bump. I guess.
Yeah. So Edge is set up for a spear. Roman catches the guillotine. Mm-hmm. They eventually tumble to the floor. Roman is looking to spear Edge to the barricade. Edge sidesteps that. Roman goes to the barricade, but then Edge spears Roman through the barricade. Puts Roman back on the ring. Gets a 2. Roman hits a Superman punch. He tumbles into Little Nate. You get a ref bump. Little Nate's just holding his knee. Roman goes down to ringside, busts one of the bottom braces off the chair. As he's doing that, Little Nate, still selling knee, rolls out of the ring. Roman tries to put the deal on Edge. Edge fights it off, hits a bunch of headbutts. He puts the deal on Roman.
Mm-hmm.
This brings the Usos down. You can see when they're running down, Mysterios are just right behind them.
Sneaking up behind him.
Yeah, so right as the Usos are about to get in the ring, Mysterios pull him out. There's a brawl ringside. It eventually goes back up the ramp. Roman's about to pass out. He kind of comes to. Seth hits the ring, super kicks Edge in the back of the head to break that up. So Roman goes for a spear. Edge counters with one of his own. Covers, but there's no ref. Eventually one runs out. Starts to count. Roman kicks out. He kind of kicked out when there's no ref anyways, but whatever. So Seth comes back out. He gets on the apron. Edge boots him off. Roman hits him with the spear as he's turning around to get the win. As soon as the bell rings, pretty much, Seth hits the ring. He's hitting Edge with ground and pound, stomps him a bit, gets face-to-face with Roman, talks some crap. Edge gets up, blasts him. They end up brawling through the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
And then Roman calls for a mic, says, now the
Now.
whole world can acknowledge me.
John Cena. John Cena comes out, throws up a 2 sweet, and he comes up to Roman. You can't see me, does that thing, and just celebrates himself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man.
And that's it. That's how the show goes off the air.
Like, poor Roman. He just went through hell. I mean, it was a long ass match.
It was like a
Cena's coming
25-minute
out.
match. I know.
Yeah.
And he's
He's
got
like-
to deal with John Cena coming out. And
He's like, see me
doing
and
this in his
Bumblebee,
face.
the movie.
I know.
Remember
See me.
that was his gimmick in We Book Raw. He was just promoting Bumblebee.
That was. He had it on his shirt.
He had it on his shirt. That's right.
Yep.
So, anyways, yeah, that's
Fun
gonna
show. Fun
yeah,
show.
no, it was a really fun show, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they do on Raw tomorrow, and then on of course Tuesday we'll review it. But
Apparently,
tomorrow,
in chat here, they're saying that they announced that Cena is going to kick off Raw.
yes, yeah,
That's interesting. That's not
the
the show
wrong
that Roman's
brand.
on.
It's the wrong brand.
But
But you got to boost those Raw numbers
gotta
because
get
they're in
them
the
ratings up, man.
toilet.
Gotta get those ratings
in
up.
the toilet. What do you think he's
Yep.
gonna say? Power rank things. That was John Cena's gonna say tomorrow.
He'll definitely say, "You can't see me."
You probably say, yeah. He'll reference the Funhouse. If he's kicking off
got to.
Raw, he's got to reference
Got
the
to.
Funhouse.
Maybe we'll see Bray tomorrow. Maybe Bray will come back.
Hey
Tomorrow.
man, I'm not done with you, man. He's like, no, like, dude, not going back anymore.
I got out of your funhouse. We're done.
We're done. Yeah, we're done.
done.
He says, come on, man, let's go back to the Funhouse. Pass. Nope. That's going to do it for us, everybody. Thanks so much for tuning in. We appreciate it. He says, no, you Poindexter. Till next time. Twitch chat, stick around. We'll answer some of your questions. Till next time, we'll talk to you later.
Bye.